Well, I had somebody email me today. They're like, hey, where's your videos? I said, relax. Just got home from the Breeders' Crown. Trying to gear up and get ready for Harrisburg and break babies and do stuff like that. Not that I'm neglecting the videos. Actually, somebody had said, well, now what are you going to do? Because you have the drone videos every so often. Are you going to still have the videos every week? And I said, well, it's a good question. You know, it's just a matter of feasibility. It does cost me money to put the videos up every week. And it does cost a lot more money to do the drones every week. So I guess we'll figure that out along the way, but we still have lots to talk about. So, you know, especially with the babies being broke and the first drone session being in the books and everybody asking about every horse. So we're going to run through a couple little things. And we can get through the turnouts quick if you want. They really haven't changed that much. We did bring in Casanova's Jewel. Final Answer has also come back in. I'm looking through the list here. Candy Mac is back in. That may be it. That's it. Those are the only horses. Payland Blue Chip is swimming still. She's going to be swam and training and racing out of the Travis Henry barn in London. Sally DeVee, we switched over to Jared Bothwell because we're going to put her in the pool for a little while also and see if that helps. And, I mean, other than that, we got, you know, Lawmaker. We'll talk about Lawmaker first, I guess. Lawmaker went into the Breeders' Crown long shot. We all had a little bit of you know, a little hope and praying for Lawmaker to be good. One, he was sound. He wasn't perfect, but that's the soundest I've seen him since the Breeders' Crown. So that made me happy. I would say somewhere around 95%, maybe closer to 100 in the race. He put a bad step in down the backstretch, and a lot of people obviously saw that. Like, oh, he didn't do anything. He caught a bell boot. Sometimes these trotters, I hate when it does this. It loses focus sometimes. There. Sometimes when the trotters are going, especially Lawmaker, he's prone to it. I guess you could say take the bell boots off him. We've always raced him with them on, and this is the first time I can ever say he grabbed a bell boot. You can see him, he puts a step in, he comes right up trotting. You can hear him grab that bell boot, and you can see a chunk missing out of it when we get off the track into the paddock. So that's what the step was. As far as the way the race went, I guess I could have stayed along the rail. I saw, obviously, Brian Sears' horse is the best horse in the race at the time. I think he was bet right down. I thought Dave Miller's horse was good too. I said I'll follow good cover. Sylvain stayed to the inside with Run Director, and I guess maybe I could have been fifth, maybe not. But anyway, regardless, it's racing, and Lawmaker ended off his year. He had a tough year, this horse. Horse had hurt his back at the start of the year and then hurt himself in the Hambletonian. Nothing serious, but enough to dog him, if you will, and it took away, I think, from a lot of his game at the end of the year. But he's a tough horse. He proved to be a lot tougher than even I thought he was when he began racing. Stop camera. So Lawmaker, a disappointing, not a disappointing sixth. I think we all knew, you know, we beat a horse, put it that way. We all knew that it was going to be tough sledding for him in the Hambletonian. I guess it would be two horses. Tough sledding for him in the Hambletonian, in the Breeders' Crown. And it absolutely was in every way, shape, or form. He raced as well as he did. I said to somebody after, I said that was the first time in his life I actually drug him off the gate and didn't float out, because he's so fast off the gate. You can just spot him wherever you want. But I think that was the first time I ever just drug him to the back and raced him from off the pace. And he was a little bit tired, but at the same time, he was sharp as a tack after the race. He wasn't near as tired as the first guy we raced, Cruising in Style. You know, I think I owe some people apologies that are involved with that horse. His last three starts, I mean, I chalked it up, and I think Andrew did too, to not being really driven the way we thought the horse. It was his forte, so to speak, being taken off the gate and staying along the rail when he's usually a leave and sit and follow type horse, or leave and cut it type horse. And, you know, we raced him in the Breeders' Crown Elimination. He was tired. And I thought maybe we'd race him back in Yonkers, and he ended up in that $75,000 race at the Poconos on Breeders' Crown night. But it wouldn't have mattered. He was tired, and he showed it. So he will get a much-deserved rest. Here's a horse that I think is going to have a big 4-year-old season in front of him. He's still not done maturing. He's still a very big, long, lanky, frail colt. He's going to put some weight on now. I think you're going to see a much better cruising in style at 4. What does that mean? I don't know, but we'll see. I think he could be any kind of horse, but the ball is completely in his court. Lawmaker, I think it goes without saying he's probably going to come back good. That injury we're talking about, it can plague him. It can pose a problem, but I think ultimately he'll heal, put some weight on, fatten him up, and let him come back and be a good horse. He'll probably get a little more time off than the other two, Cruising in Style and White Tiger. They're all headed to Winterwood Farm. Obviously, White Tiger, we wanted to stand him for a month and make sure that foot was good before we did anything like moving him anywhere. So that will heal up perfectly. I'm gonna watch it. I'm in race 10 here. That will heal up perfectly, and I think we have 3 horses that probably went to the field. Well, 2 of them were tired. 1 of them was sharp, but they'll come back better horses for it. Next week, obviously Saturday, we'll be heading to Harrisburg for the Harrisburg sale. I'll be honest with you, quietly honest with you, as I usually am. I was a little bit concerned. You know, we had a lot of shares left on the table, and I think the time I could have spent selling a lot of the Ohio shares to you, our clients or prospective clients. I was speaking in New Zealand about fractional ownership, and I don't really think, I think I kind of dropped the ball, I guess, because when I got back from Lexington, there was a lot more shares there of Ohio Colts and fillies than I thought there would be. And I was trying to do the math in my head, but the problem was we actually did have a really good year, as I said, and there was a lot of money left on the table, whether it be purse money that had to go out to clients or invoice money that had to come in or shares that were bought. We were waiting for a lot of money and had a lot of checks to write, so I really didn't know what to think about Harrisburg. We're still probably, you know, I'll be honest. I'll break it down. I'll be completely honest with all our clients. Last year, there was a little bit of gap between what we spent and what we had, and obviously that's the only issue with running a business and growing a business, I would assume, from what I hear anyway from smarter people than me, is cash flow. And when it comes to all those shares you see on our site, this horse is 26, this horse is 41, this horse is 38 or 80 or whatever. Those are shares that somebody had to pay for. Now, some breeders will send us horses, and we'll work out agreements with them, and we'll sell the shares. But those horses kind of got to speak for themselves, right? Their breeding does somewhat, but they have to speak for themselves on the track. The only way they can do that is under the drone. Certainly can't speak for yourselves when you're just learning how to jog and train. So those shares will sit there. So what we've done from time to time, what we had to do last year, was bring on investors to help us shore up those gaps. Luckily, we have a lot of people that are good people that want to help, and that was very helpful last year. Now this year we spent less money. I think we got as much quality as we did last year. We spent less money to do it. I think what I'm trying to say is I think the stable did an incredible job at the sale, and it wasn't just me. We showed you the videos. I think that was an interesting angle, was the ability to show you horses before we ever bought them. And it was a little controversial. I talked about how people thought it was a mistake to tip your hat, so to speak, on, you know, what you're going to be bidding on. But we ended up picking up a lot of new clients also. You're going to find we have a lot of stuff coming up this fall. We're going to be extremely aggressive. Once we get our site polished up to the way we need it, we're going to go back to where TheStable.ca started, and that was in the general public. A lot of you are clients of ours. Some of you were out of racing for a long time. Some of you were new to racing altogether, and some of you were always in racing. But I would say a lot. I'll stop short of the vast majority, but I'll say a lot of our new clients came from the general public, and that was due part and parcel to the earned media that we garnered, whether it be on the radio or in the newspaper or on TV. We garnered a lot of interest from the general public. We got away from that purposely over the last year, and we're going back to our roots this fall. So we have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of infrastructure we want to put in. We're going to be talking about that in the coming months. Stuff we're trying to get done. You know, it's going to cost a little bit more money to run TheStable.ca, but I'm trying to hammer down an exact number. rather than guess. You guys saw what had happened about a month ago where we had tried to institute, I don't want to say against my wishes. As you can imagine, with the growth of the stable and the size of the stable, we have to have new people come on board. People that are business people, smart people that want to help grow the brand of the stable and what it is. I can talk to you all day about fractional ownership, about what we do, about how we train our horses, and the outcome, hopefully, of that. But when it comes down to the brass nuts and bolts of the business, you know, a guy told me a long time ago, nothing to do with the stable, but I forget where I heard it. I know I heard it somewhere. I think it might have been in politics. They said, you know, the biggest thing about growing a business is not knowing what you're good at. It's not knowing what you're not good at. And it's not that I'm not good at business, but I'm not a businessman, so to speak. In our sense, in the industry sense, I am an entrepreneur and I am a businessman. But when it comes to dealing with the general public and the mainstream, if you will, I'm not. And I need help doing that. And we're going to be bringing on people that are going to help do that. So those shares, although they may be concerning to some of the naysayers out there that might say, look, I told you so, you have lots of shares left. That's by design. We want to make sure that we have inventory here for what's going to take place this fall and this winter, and it is going to take place. So we have some big things on the horizon that we're looking to do, looking to implement, looking to shape, and always looking to move forward. So, but I don't want to, circling back a long way again, I'm good at that, aren't I? In a long-winded way, I don't want that to impact our customers any more than it needs to. I allowed administration fees to potentially be put in place. There was a lot of confusion, and it just wasn't what we do. It's not what we do here at the stable. And I let it happen, and that's on me. But that will be rectified in the near future. So, well, it already was rectified, but the reason we needed it, or we have potentially needed it, will also be rectified in the near future. So, back to the racing side of things. Talked about Lawmaker. Lawmaker was a little tired, a little flat. He's going out into the field now. So is Cruising in Style. So is White Tiger. Raced our Vicka on Sunday, and she made a break. And I said to Mario, man, what happened? She looked so good the week before. He goes, I don't know. He said, she got a little rough and got out of gear. I went down and looked at her in the barn today. Her ass is 3 inches higher than her shoulders. She's going through a growth spurt. So I guess we're gonna have to stop with her. She's told us that we're gonna take some time, a little time out. So that's a good thing, though. Gee, she looks huge. She looks like a big girl now. So we are going to give her some time off, obviously, and let her mature into the horse we wanted her to be, and we want her to be. You know, the only good thing about Tactical Landing winning the Breeders' Crown was it gave everybody a good opportunity to see. Oh, it's getting blurry again. Nope, it's not working. Give everybody a chance to see what happens when you let a horse mature. And I know Tactical Landing was an $800,000 horse, but he looked abysmal at 2. And these are horses you always have to understand. I know we all get it. We all understand it somewhere deep down inside, but some people, it doesn't register the same way. These are animals, and they need to grow at their own rate. I can't make our Vicka mature any faster than Jimmy Tactor could make, or Bob Stewart, whoever had Tactical Landing at 2, could make him mature at 2. You just have to listen to the horse, and take your time, and do right by the horse. And hopefully when it's all said and done and everything's done shaken out, then the horse will do right by you. And that's the plan. So we had turned a lot of horses out that are on their way back, and we're going to be turning a lot of horses out, our best horses also, and our Vicka out for a little while to let them finish, hopefully, not finish, but mature and get through this growth spurt and bring her back in. So instead of racing another couple of times and giving her 5-6 weeks off, maybe we'll give her 5 weeks off now and bring her back in the wintertime, see how she feels. It is New Jersey sire, so we got lots of opportunities next year with her, not just in New Jersey, but in other places also. She obviously showed she's got some spunk and some speed to her. She might have only won in 2-2, but the track was terrible. It was muddy. So I think shutting her down is the only logical move to make. So we got Lawmaker, Cruising in Style, White Tiger's going out, our Vicka's done, and then we talk about the Harrisburg sale. So We had the Harrisburg sale coming up. As I said, I was a little concerned, but after spending 2 days crunching the numbers and looking close at our books, looks like we're going to be all right for the Harrisburg sale. So we're going to take a real close eye at what needs to take place. For you out there, I'll let you in right now on a little secret. We've also been crunching the analytics. We are short some Pennsylvania trotting colts. We've got one. Kind of full up in Ontario. Full up in Ohio for the most part. We get 19 or 20 Ohio breds. Lots of Ontario breds. Got some Pennsylvania Pacers and some trotting fillies. Don't got any trotting colts. So we got one. We got to get some more. So effusive. Need some brothers to train down with. So we're out there looking. I got a bunch in mind that we've zeroed in on that we're going to be taking a look at on the Sunday before Harrisburg and send you out some emails. A lot of people have sent me their numbers. We're going to be looking at those numbers also. But when I crunch the actual numbers of the stable, got to get some Pennsylvania trotting colts. So the good news is there's lots in the sale. We're going to be taking a look at a lot of them when we get there. We have our eye on a couple right now. One that I two that I'm really impressed with on their video and their pedigree. We're going to be taking a look at them. It is very important. I don't want to spend any more sleepless nights in the fall. So it's very important, if you have interest in these horses, to speak up. I'll be happy to give you the price point we're looking at with these horses so that we can get some sort of investment plan in place, some sort of business model in place for these horses moving forward for us. I guess that's a wrong way to put it. Well, I guess the only way to put it right now. We're looking to acquire some horses. We want to acquire them with you. And if you're interested in getting them with us, let me know. And we'll tell you, one, what our price point is, and two, what we like and don't like about the horse. And then we also will be, I guess I'm a race early. I'm watching my horse come off the track jogging now. Races are always slow here. And that will be it. Then we'll have a clear plan moving forward for Harrisburg. As I said, we have a lot of shares left from Ohio. We have some for Lexington. Lexington was good, but that's a good thing. And you're going to see why real soon in the near future. I would say first part of December, we're going to start breaking down and unpacking what we're going to be doing at the stable in the fall and the winter. Rest assured, it won't be sitting on our hands. Anyway, that's the front end. That's what we're doing here. That's what we've done all week. Talked about the horses. Somebody said, geez, you had a rough couple of weeks. Well, Dance Hall Babe won the Harvest Series final. You know, she didn't look like a peaceful way doing it. She's tired too. But she won. And this time of year, we're putting away our best horses. We're bringing some of the 2-year-olds back. Some of the horses we raced all summer, the aged horses are a little tired too. So it's always a tough time, this transition from the end of the stake season into the winter racing season. Always a little bit of a tough transition, but that's the way it is. I'm not going to focus and be too concerned about what we're racing in October and November. Now these are aged horses, and we can move some out and bring some in and look at some at Harrisburg potentially, but I'm not that concerned with it. As I said to somebody the other day, you know, we're a 250 to 280 average training stable. We do pretty good everywhere we're at, but that you have to take the good with the bad. And for those of you saying I didn't have a great year at the stable, there's other people that are saying they did, and that's a little rough way to put it, but at the same time, that's racing, right? That's why we love this game, is that we all get to hit, everybody get to hit home runs all the time. You know, anybody could play baseball, and that's just not the way it is. You know, we have some horses that did very well this year, some that broke our hearts, some that didn't do as well as we hoped, and we're hoping they'll come out good at 3. But that's how stables work, and we have a big one. 130 horses, 131. We sold 2 and brought 3 in. 50-some babies, I don't know, 56, 57. I'm not going to stop counting until we're done Harrisburg, and I don't know, I think that's it. Somebody actually sent me a video of a good-looking horse that's in the Ohio Select sale. So I may have to go down to Ohio for the Ohio Select sale, but we'll see. Anyway, it's been a great run, It's obviously not the end of 2018, but it's kind of the end of 2018, isn't it? It's the end of our stake season. Our racing season's kind of watered down right now. It is what it is. We race a couple here at Mohawk and beat around London at Flamborough and try and get some experience for our 2-year-olds that didn't make it right away. And if they got to go, then we're going to move them. And if they're going to be good horses, we'll race them 4 or 5 times and turn them back out and try and keep them sharp and fresh heading into their stake season. Now, for the ones from Ohio, the 3-year-old stake season started in early May or end of April last year. They have that Hackett stake, and then it kind of just leads right into the Ohio Sire Stakes. So for the Ohio horses proper, make sure we have the right timing for those horses. I'm not talking about Oso Pine and them. It won't be hard to get the right timing for them. I'm talking about the horses like Candy Mac and Majesty Boy, and there's a few of them there, both pacers and trotters. They're going to get their crack this winter, and if they don't pan out, then they don't pan out. That's just the way it is. If they do, then that's great too. We got a lot to do, a lot of moving parts. Hopefully you're getting a quick look inside what rattles around in my head other than air every day. You know, we got a lot going on. So I get home from, you love this, I get home from, we didn't have a great run, obviously. We knew Pennsylvania was going to be a tough trip. We still made a couple of dollars, but obviously we didn't make that much money, and I knew that. I was okay after the race. You know, you had to be realistic going in. This wasn't like the Canadian Trotting Classic where if Lawmaker's good and he gets a trip and I get away in the 2-hole, we get money, and we did, and we're all happy. This is the Breeders' Crown where we're bringing him in, hoping he's sound, hoping he's sharp. Last start of the year, drew the 8-hole, even with a scratch. We were hoping. And he got 1%, he got 5,000, but not the end of the world. My hopes weren't high. And it rained from the time I walked outside the doorstep. Ava wanted to have a sleepover at her friends, so Oliver, Amy, and I drove all the way to the Poconos and drove all the way back. I get home. I say, well, I'll go race Jelona at Flamborough. We dropped her in for 10 at Flamborough. I'm assuming she's 1-2. Finishes a horrible 7th or 8th. Scope's a little bit sick. I'm on my way home. I hit a pothole and get a flat tire. And it's raining and it's cold. So I did what any self-respecting man in 2018 would do. I drove it. I drove it all the way to the gas station, 5 minutes down the road. So it took me 15 minutes to get there, doing 40 kilometers an hour or 30 kilometers an hour. I bought a can of Fix-A-Flat. I filled it up and I drove all the way home. I get home and it was flat by the time I get home, and I put it in the driveway. So I called my buddy. He's a mechanic, and I call him. I say, hey, man, I got a flat that tire. I said, can you, left hind tire, I said, can you come and, I said, I'm pretty sure it's done. I put a can of that stuff in, and it did, you know, it lasted till I get home. He said, all right, well, you didn't put the spare on? I said, listen, I'm a little embarrassed to say, I couldn't put the spare on if you'd have gone to my head. I said, I don't know how to do it. There's lots of things I know how to do in this world, but fixing a flat tire, it's just not one of them. I think the spare is in the trunk under that little thing, but then you got the key, you got to put on the bolts, and you got to put the jack on. There's a 0% chance I could do that. I wasn't going to do it, so I drove it home. Anyway, that was my weekend in Pennsylvania / Flamborough. Rough week, rough day, rough night, poured rain. I hate racing in the mud. Come home to Flamborough, went over to Flamborough. As soon as I got there, started to rain. Raced again in the mud. Took my dirty suit off, put my clothes on, got halfway home, got a flat tire. Drove to the gas station, can of Fix-A-Flat. We get home. So the Malibu's sitting in the yard with a flat tire. It's parked in the driveway with a flat tire, and a man's over there fixing it right now, fixing my tire. So that was my week in racing. How was yours? The highlight of the week was Dance Hall Babe winning the Harvest Stakes, which made me very happy. Obviously, she had a rough year. She didn't have a rough year. She had an unlucky year. You know, we were easy on this filly because I really thought in June when she qualified in 58 or whatever, I really thought she might have a shot at being at the Breeders' Crown. It's a long shot. It's dreaming. You're allowed to dream. There's no Breeders' Crown mile the other night. 2-1 at Mohawk. But she got 20,000 for doing it. So good for the owners. I know Georgia that works for us. And that's a great thing about this too. A lot of our caretakers own little tiny pieces of the horses, and one of our caretakers owned 1% of Dance Hall Babes. So she was happy. I was happy to see her at the winner's circle. We have a number of other clients, or a number of other caretakers have bought pieces of the yearlings. So it's good for us because they can't go anywhere. It's good for the industry too. So as it stands right now, 131 horses, 57 yearlings. We are heading to Harrisburg. We are looking for you to send emails out to me and say, hey, what are you looking at? What's your price point on this horse? We're going down Saturday. We're driving down Saturday in the afternoon. We're going to have a quick sleep and get up early Sunday. We are going to look at all the horses I want to look at Sunday. We're going to make videos of them. Curtis, we're going to make a lot of videos on Sunday because Curtis can't stay the whole week. Kelly Spencer is coming down. She is going to help me out. She is going to do some videos from after, if we buy horses, or if we have to look at horses later on in the week. She's going to do those videos with me. She's going to do the videos after and give you a look at every horse we purchased. The app is going to be running. The site is going to be up. Everything we need, all the bells and whistles. Bottom of the ninth, the Harrisburg sale is coming up this weekend, and I would love to partner with you on any number of horses, but you have to have some interest. I don't want to have any more exposure. Any more exposure, and I'd be arrested for exposure. Anyway, I had, even though it wasn't the greatest week, I had a lot of fun. Poconos was great. I got to have a great meal and sit down with Dave Bolus and his wife and have a great meal, hang out with my kid, my boy Ollie, and Amy. Wasn't the greatest ending in racing for the night, but great ending for the stake year all the same. I got to go out like we come in, traveling around with my family, minus Ava, but doing what I love. So again, thank you very much, because obviously none of that would have been possible. None of this would have been possible without you. So again, much appreciated the opportunity to train horses for you and manage your horses and try and build something that obviously now it's pretty apparent everybody in the racing world is taking notice to. So that's because of you, not me. And we'll see you, hopefully. And here's an open invitation. If any of you live in the Harrisburg area, you want to hang out with me and Amy, go look at some horses, and we'll show you exactly what we mean when we say things on the video. Maybe you don't know what we're talking about. Maybe you don't understand exactly what I'm saying, and you don't want to send me an email or a phone call or a text and say, what does this mean? I'm happy if you do also. But if you want to hang out with us, we already have a few clients that are coming out to the Harrisburg sale. Tag along. It is absolutely no problem. Bring everybody you want with you. I'll be happy to explain what we're looking at the sale, what we're on the prowl for, what we want at TheStable.ca for 2018-2019. An open invitation to you, anybody and everybody. Come on out. We'll be happy to tell you when we're going to be at the sale, what we're looking at, take as many of you as we can. So, an open invitation to everybody at TheStable.ca. Drop by the Harrisburg sale in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We'll be doing all our videos on Sunday, but we will be looking at lots of horses all week. So, that's it. Long opening, 28 minutes. Not going to be a long thing today. We're going to... Actually, that's not true. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what I thought about the horses in the drone session the other day. We can give you a quick run through of the turnouts too if you want, but nothing's changed other than the horses that I said from the outset are the ones that have come in. Casanova's Jewel, Final Answer, and Candy Mac. I can't believe I remembered them. But those are the horses that have come back in. The rest of them are still out for various time periods, some of them another month, some of them another few weeks. But rest assured, they'll all be back in at some point before Christmas, and we will have a full boat. Talk to you soon. Hopefully talk to you at the Harrisburg sale. Either way, be in touch.